How's the week been? Is it is the intensity upped a little?
Yeah, it has a little bit. Yeah, the intensity's been really good. Enthusiasm's and motivation's really high, which is positive. The girls know there's a lot to play for, and there's a lot on the line with the Elimination Final. But the good thing is that many haven't played finals before, which is not even in junior football or whatever. So they're still riding the wave, or we're still riding the wave of how we've been playing in the regular season. So everyone's really motivated to train well and to put another game on like last week would be nice. But yeah, very enthusiastic at the moment.
It's going to be the talking point all week, Dan, I suppose. How's Georgie feeling at this stage, and what's the process from here for her to prove her fitness for Saturday?
She's pulled up sore from it post-game, but for the last 3 or 4 days, her recovery's going really well. So we're confident that she'll play and have a significant role as she has for the majority of the season. I think with the nature of her injury, it was just about time and rest, just to give it some time to heal and to settle down. And it was just a rolled ankle. So, yeah, so she should be fine come Saturday. We'll give her obviously all week to prep and to recover, and she's been doing a lot of pool running, a lot of recovery, a lot of touch with the coaches. So her football is still consistent, but no, she's in good spirits too. She missed those 2 games mid-year, which cut her pretty deep in regards to just missing playing the game. So she was always looking forward to playing if we got to the finals stage, to play those or make up for those extra 2 games she missed. So I don't think that a rolled ankle would stop her anyway, mate.
Yeah, I remember you speaking about her trying to use those 2 weeks to get ready for finals, basically. So I can imagine she'd be doing absolutely everything this week to put it out. She'll be knocking on your door, I assume, every day saying, I'm right to go and running around, I assume.
It's interesting. Like, as a 19-year-old, we're very lucky. We've got a lot of our younger players who are extremely motivated to do well. And she's one in particular that's, you're right, just that hunger to play football. So again, with a shorter season, you miss a round through injury, suspension, whatever it may be. It cuts deeper than what people might think, because it's a game lost in such a short season. So she understands that we're running on the potentially last 2 or 3 games. So she's done really well. Yeah, she's been here every day. She's been very diligent with her recovery. Followed everything to the letter to what she needs to do. So and she's been studying her own performance, opposition performance. So yeah, she's primed.
Is the final kickoff? Sorry, do you go, Kev?
Yeah, sorry, Josh. Is she your only injury concern?
Yeah, she is, mate. Yeah. We've had a really good run this probably this last 2 seasons, to be fair. We've got a full list to choose from again, which is really positive. We've got a few players who are banged up and sore, which is just the nature of the season. Well, 2 seasons in 12 months. So yeah, we've got some sore players, but nothing that's going to detract from their performance. But she's our only significant injury concern.
Does the final tick off for her come tomorrow, or is that a Saturday thing? When will you probably know for sure that she's going to be playing?
Probably tomorrow, mate. Like she's going to do some training tonight on it for the first time, which has always been the plan. So we're confident tonight that tonight's just another stepping stone in her road to playing on Saturday. So she'll do some work tonight on her foot, and then do some more tomorrow just to continue that growth and a confidence space. And then yeah, we'll pick the team this afternoon or tonight, and she's in the team at this point in time. So we expect everything to go really positively.
Any selection headaches? I mean, you've got obviously pretty much a full list to choose from. Obviously, there's going to be some disappointed girls. Yeah, there are, mate. Like we've got 7 or 8 girls who haven't played for the majority of the year, just due to the fact that we're winning and we're winning well. So it's very tricky to change the team just to try and rotate players in such a short season. So you've got Renee Gehring, who's been primed for the last 4 or 5 weeks, but just can't get into the team. So she's a constant knock on the door player that just wants to get in and do her thing and support her teammates. But yeah, we're looking at the opposition and just their height and their speed around the ground, and it's inside their mids, their front half, their defence. They're a really well balanced team across the park. So
obviously if we make any changes, it'd be just to make sure that we're also balancing out to compete around their players. So there might be one change, but there might not, because things we've been winning. So we're reluctant to make changes for change's sake, but we'll consider all the options we've got tonight after we watch training and everyone gets through.
It was basically underwater last time you played them. Can you take much out of that game against North Melbourne, or is it one you almost have to throw out given the conditions particularly?
It was a horrendous day. It rained all day. We just sat in the hotel and watched it rain the entire day. And Utah Stadium is one of the biggest grounds, or the biggest ground in the competition. So it was underwater, like it was literally a pool all over the ground. So it did take away the spectacle part of two really good teams early on the season. But we've changed a lot since that game. I've watched that game again. I'm not going to lie. A lot of our KPIs around that game were in the positive for us in what we measure as success compared to the opposition. So to lose and still play well in really ordinary conditions gives us confidence that post that round that we've improved out of sight, which has been well publicised with our scoring efficiency and our disposal efficiency. So we're hoping for a dry day to help with our football. But yeah, there's some things we took out of that game that we've changed since round 3, round 4 onwards that have helped us get better. So yeah, we've learned from that round.
So what sort of game are you expecting it to be on Saturday, Dan?
What type of game?
Yeah, what sort of game? An open game or an in hard, tough finals, physical intensity, all that sort of game?
Yeah, I think both, Kev. I think it's going to be really, really hard and tough to start with until a team finds a bit of an edge and gets the ball to be a bit more free flowing on the outside. I know, this is not North Melbourne's first finals campaign. They've been around the mark for a number of years, so they've got players who have played multiple finals compared to our players who are just starting their journey in that space. So, I'm no doubt they'll be able to ride the highs and lows of that first 5 minutes of a final, which is high intensity, high contest. It's just going to come down to I have no doubt that our players can match North Melbourne in that space. I think we've shown all year that we're a good contested team. It'll be around just decision making and that efficiency with the football once you've done all the hard work to then make the game a bit more free flowing, a bit easier to get the ball forward. And I think whoever manages that headspace early and makes the most of those opportunities early in games, particularly finals, I think that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a really hard, tough game until something breaks, and that might be in the first 10 minutes. It might be the last 10 minutes of the game. Who knows? But I'm hoping to obviously play a similar brand that we've played the last month, particularly our home games. St Kilda was outstanding, a bit more free flowing outside run flow. And then obviously on the weekend, just going against the Swans, we replicated a similar style of play. If we can get anywhere near that on the weekend, I think it would be pretty hard to beat.
I know you're obviously focused on winning this week and then hopefully the next few weeks after that. But when you came on board as senior coach, I know it was part of a journey that you're hoping to improve year after year after year. Have your expectations changed at all after the success you've had so far this year? Are you sort of on track to what you thought you'd be at the start of this year in terms of that yearly growth and continuing over the next few years?
Probably on track, Josh. I think we've made significant change to our playing list to get to this point, and that was always the mission and part of our process. We expected to improve to get to this point in time as fast as we have. I'll put it down to a number of factors, and it's a change of method and style from season 6 to season 7, but adding the players that complement the direction that we're trying to go in terms of our ball movement and style of play, and our philosophy as a team has helped speed up that improvement. So my expectation was to win more games than last season. We've exceeded that, which is great. But now, yes, my expectation now is that we win a final, and that's now right in our hands to be able to do that. So it's changed and adapted over the last 12 months, but certainly I'm not surprised that we've got better. So yeah, for now it's more wins and losses, and now for us it's a final at our disposal to win. So, and then you look at next year, like next season, like our players are thinking they've played 20 games in one calendar month, and now there could be a 7 or 8 month hiatus until we play again. So it's like, it's now or never.
Have you rebooted and re-themed the season for the start of this finals campaign, or is that not been something you've done?
No, we haven't, mate. No, it's just been about process for us. It's pretty boring. Sorry to bore you, but we're played well for a number of reasons, and that's all to do with having greater role clarity in positions, individuals. So you scale that back down. So then, how does that individual fit into a certain role within a system that kind of protects the team to play a certain way? And if we get those parts right of our game, which we have more often than not this season, well, the proof is that we do well for longer, and now we've added a few different components that help us get out the space more and play a bit more free flowing. So we just have to stick to those processes and those actions to make sure that we're consistent and playing our brand of footy. Against Adelaide, it was a really good learn. Although we lost, it was a tight game. We didn't think we played to our best, and what we're learning now is that teams are starting to show us a bit more, not respect, but just a bit more attention to how to stop us and slow us down. And we learned that really, really well against the Crows, about how they defended and how they took away what we wanted to play. And we flipped a few things to try and get that different for Sydney. And we expect North Melbourne to do the same. Like, look at how we've been scoring, and then try and stop those opportunities. So we need to make sure that we've got avenues to combat that. But I think, our process has got to stay the same.
Just following up on that, a lot of that comes down to above the shoulders, we know. And you mentioned North's experience and the lack of experience with your girls. That leadership group's going to take on a big responsibility on the ground on Saturday, aren't they? Because they're going to lead that. They're going to make that happen.
Yeah, they are, mate. Yeah, our leadership group consists of some really experienced players. So although they haven't played many finals with Geelong, we've got players outside the leadership group also who have had a lot of experience. With Shelley and Jackie and Chantel, who have played with Melbourne over the period. So they've had plenty of opportunity to experience these games. But just the one thing we need to make sure that our leaders do is just do what they do on the football field, not worry about 50 other players and worry about how everyone else is performing. And so I think what they need to be able to do is, and they know this, is to play their role and lead from the front in terms of what they can control, and not worry about trying to lead everybody. And that's been a really consistent theme over the last probably 6 months around their leadership capacity. So staying in the moment this weekend is pretty important for our leaders. But we've got a number of leaders across the ground. We've got some emerging leaders in our younger group as well. But it's just about, again, that play your role is leadership. That's the thing. So above the shoulders, that mental fortitude. It's just making sure that to stay in the game, you just have to stay in your lane and do your thing. And then that's our leadership capacity at this point in time.
Yep. How are you feeling? Because you're up and about?
I'm pretty happy, to be honest. Like, it's I'm always happy, but no, I'm just excited, like, to play postseason. Like, it's super, and particularly to come into work here after the last 4 or 5 weeks of what this club has experienced with the men's program as well. Like, it's not hard to get swept up in the excitement of finals football. So there's, the staff have been brilliant. Everyone's extremely excited and supportive of our AFLW program, just as much as they were for the men's. Like, there's no change there. So you feel good about that. So, and that flows on to the group as well, and the way they feel about preparing and playing for an important game. So I feel calm, excited. I suppose all the emotions are going to run through at some point, but no, I'm feeling really, really and proud of our group and how they've just changed and developed and just improved over the last 12 months. And I've got a great support staff, fantastic coaches who calm me down and help me out, which is really positive too.
How about that crowd factor on Saturday and having the home game?
I can't undersell how important that is. And I have to think back to the St Kilda game we played here and scored probably our best game for the year in terms of scoring. just how significant the crowd were in supporting the girls and urging them on to do more. And then I go to Adelaide and we hear the Adelaide crowd against us and how significant that was in regards to just that, getting your team across the line factor. It is a factor. It is a factor in the game, a team sport where the crowd are vocal and, they do sway opinions on the ground in regards to decisions that might be made. And what I'd love, for our girls to have is that continued noise factor that supports them, and to have, if we get over 5,000 to the game, that that is significant. I'm not too sure what our highest crowd this year has been. I think it's around the 4,000 mark. It sounded like 10,000, so we can just up the ante there and just put a bit of acid on North Melbourne. I think that'd be brilliant, because it's such a difference. Let alone playing in front of 40,000, it'd be good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Terrific. That's terrific. No, you should be really proud, I reckon, of what you've achieved. I mean, because it's been, and we've talked about this a couple of times when we've had chats. It's been an enormous ask to go from a season into another season. The physical toll, the mental toll, the preparation, and as we said last week, if you got one little thing wrong, you haven't got much time to fix it.
No, you're right. It's everyone's adapted really well. And at the end of the day, as much as it's caused headaches and it's turned people's lives upside down in regards to changing plans and all those types of things, the fact that the girls get to play more football, and I've said this multiple times, they've played 20 games now, or hopefully more than that, over 12 months, which is only going to improve the brand and the way the AFLW is perceived. I know it's not going to get there first season 8, playing 20 games, but certainly the proof is there that the game is going to rapidly increase and improve when they're playing football for longer. So we push all that other stuff aside. We've done really well to deal with it, and our staff have been magnificent players as well, families. But the fact of the matter is, you strip all that back, they're playing more football, and that's why they're here, and that's why we're here to support that. So we're really happy that that's occurred.
Yeah. The converse of that is obviously when you get it right, as you've done this year, the improvement is off the charts.
Yeah, well, when you put in plans, I can only imagine, say, the expansion team, Sydney, for example, Scott Gowan's is talking about. And so it should be, like, development, and this year's about developing, and they've had like little time to prepare for a season because of the change. Now they've got to wait 9 months, 8 months until they can do it again, and that's not counting pre-season, but it's like, what a wait. So we've been lucky. The teams involved already have been able to flip, and particularly Geelong and for myself, to be able to implement new things, then have a chance, in a short period to continue that drive and improvement. So we've had 2 pre-seasons, 2 full seasons to implement a new method and style, whereas some of those expansion teams have had 12 weeks. So, we just need to play more football, and there's no surprise we're getting better because of it. So I couldn't imagine waiting 8 months to continue on a message that might have got lost in the mud and stuff because of the huge pause.